Hi there, welcome to the Free West YouTube channel. Thanks for tuning in, and please subscribe to this channel by clicking on the bell in the lower right hand corner. Now, dominating the news at the moment is the tension between China and the United States over the origins of the coronavirus. We know that the American Secretary of State, Mr. Mike Pompeo, has literally accused the Chinese of having released, whether by omission or deliberately, the virus from the Wuhan P4 level laboratory, which led to the worldwide pandemic of the so-called COVID-19 disease. This has, however, led to a feeling of unease in the European Union and especially in Germany. In fact, Germany and the EU now find themselves between a rock and a hard place, as I'll explain shortly. But in response to the American accusations, the Chinese have also come back with their own retort, especially the Chinese ambassador to Paris, Mr. Liu Shayi. He said that if Trump has evidence, let him show it. Let him stop fooling people with bleach. With an unfounded accusation, how could he speak of punishment? He continued. He also directed his comments at the United States. Rather, the international community, according to him, must take responsibility for the United States, which caused the spread of the virus worldwide. According to Liu Shayi, eventually, with more than 1 million confirmed cases, the country headed by Donald Trump alone totals a number of cases greater than the total of cases recorded from the second to the seventh most affected countries in the world, unquote. And then he quoted some statistics as well from the Imperial College London, saying that, that this is now Liu Shayi, the Chinese ambassador in Paris. According to these statistics, it is estimated that the Americans exported 16,000 cases abroad of people infected with the coronavirus. On the American side, there are even some people stating in the media that the US and China are already at war, or that China has declared war against the USA. Now, the German response has been quite one of quite a lot of concern, given that China is a major market for German exports. The top three German car companies, Volkswagen, AG, BMW, and Daimler-Benz, already have huge markets in China. In fact, a big chunk of their profits come from China. And so they find themselves within this conundrum, with their country being caught between the US and China. There has also been an article published here by the Carnegie Endowment for Democracy, where they quote Henry Kissinger, who apparently said the following. The former US Secretary of State, quite famous, Henry Kissinger, he said that without the United States, Europe would be at the mercy of China, a mere appendage of Eurasia. Now, apparently, in about 2016, the Chinese had already invested 37 billion euros in Germany, apart even from the rest of the EU, and that created some concern among the Europeans as to the real intentions of China on the European continent and of course within the EU states. And there are some of the more popular German newspapers at the moment, like the Bild Zeitung, who are also turning up the volume regarding anti-Chinese sentiment. But it's also true that the Europeans have never really been anti-Chinese. And during the 18th century, there was a whole fashion in Germany for Chinese furniture, for Chinese paintings, Chinese music. The Germans were absolutely fascinated with China in this 18th century, and that sentiment of, call it Orientalism, has never really left Germany. And the same can be said of France, where France of course had colonies in the east, in Vietnam and other places, Cambodia and so on, and they've also retained this this kind of interest and sensibility towards the Orient, which now risks being scuppered by the very aggressive positions being taken by America in its I won't exactly use the word conflict, but in its quarrel with China around the coronavirus. But according to one senior German diplomat expressing exactly the kind of hesitancy that the Germans and the Europeans feel amid the rising tension, the rising Sino-American tension, this unknown American diplomat, quoted by the Carnegie Endowment for Democracy, said the following very interesting comment. He said that we are on the same landmass as China. China has a vision. They are reaching our way. Do we want to take their hand? That isn't clear yet. And that is the problem facing Germany and the EU, finding themselves on the Eurasian continent, but caught in the midst of this quarrel between the USA and China. Thank you for tuning in to the Free West Media YouTube channel. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe, and until next time, goodbye.